Oh my goodness. That was one of the most intense basketball games that I can remember watching. Heart is still beating, and the Wolves did it, man. I picked Nuggets in 7. I was wrong. That's fine. I love this Wolves team. And the way that they came back in this game in particular, because in that first half, with the way their offense looked, with the doubles on Ant and Jokic high on screens with Conley and everything, and they were just struggling so much with how do we deal with this? Because it was so many possessions of like the skip pass was a little too late, or the one-on-one defense was really good on Ant, and he was getting a little frustrated, and he would take a shot that you don't love, and then okay, we go into the second half, and where it started was defensively. Also should be noted that Cat throughout that first half was keeping them afloat with like making shots on switches and making some of the threes that he had. We will talk about Naz Reid in the fourth. Don't you worry. But defensively, and also Gobert with his rebounding stuff, we will get to it all. But defensively, in the third quarter, if I can attempt to sift through the so many notes that I have after this game. One play I remember where Cat was doing a hell of a job being physical with Jokic on this one, and then Rudy's helping off of Gordon in the corner, and he's making Jokic kind of think about it, and he throws it to Gordon, who then throws it back to Jokic, which, right there, like the Wolves can do that. They can make Jokic think and hesitate and all that stuff. And then it's like a skip pass, which eventually becomes like a 3 for MPJ, and Ant has a really good closeout, so that's a miss. Another where they double Jokic in the post with Ant, and Murray gets a 3 that is makeable, and it was a 3 that I think he basically made the identical version of in the first half. But okay, he misses that one. And then on the other end, it felt like the Wolves, they found some ways to deal with the Nuggets throwing doubles at them, because again, the offense was rough in the first half, where they spread it out. One play that sticks in my head, it's Rudy in the dunker spot. It is Ant, Conley, I want to say Jaden and Cat spread out. The Nuggets bring that double, and it's just swing, swing, swing. Conley, wide open 3, drills it. Then it's Jokic, with Cat on him again, and then it's like Conley's kind of bringing a little extra help, and Ant's bringing a little extra help, and they're making Jokic think about it, hesitating. And then Jokic either like threw it to, I don't even know if it was Gordon or Murray or MPJ or maybe Christian Brown was in the game. I don't know who the hell it was, but something happens where it's a turnover, and then Ant is getting a fast break. One time where Cat as well as Jaden, or it could have been Nikhil, they were like high up on a Reggie Jackson Jokic screen action, and Jackson makes a pretty desperate attempt of a skip pass. It just goes right to Ant, and then we're going the other way again. Let's see, a couple plays where 2 to the ball on Conley or 2 to the ball on Ant, and then it's Rudy in the middle of the floor putting it on the floor, and then he draws a foul on Gordon. Or the Rudy turnaround at the buzzer was insanity. There were so many moments in the fourth quarter. We've now gone to the fourth quarter, I guess. The fourth quarter for the Wolves, it was listen, the Cat put back when he just runs right past KCP. The Naz Reid put back dunk where it was Murray and it was Jokic who were on that side of the floor, and Rudy was kind of sealing Murray to where he didn't have a chance for the rebound, and so then it's Naz Reid just coming in out of nowhere. Conley making a tough 3 off of a pump fake where the Nuggets, they did the 2 to the ball thing. They got the ball out of Ant's hands. It's Conley on the wing. He makes this crazy 3 over Murray where the play's basically going nowhere. They stole it from Murray twice late in the game. One time where Ant, it's just a Jokic screen, and Ant just says, screw it, I'm going to steal the ball from you. I don't know how else to put it. So he's getting a dunk there. The one time where Conley and Ant doubled Murray when the Nuggets, at this point, they were running Jokic screens from Murray, basically at the half-court line, because the pressure from the Wolves was just nuts. And, it's scary because if he gets away from you, then it's, potentially Jokic with a lot of room to operate. But that's a turnover too, and then it's another transition thing. And then we got to speak on the Jokic, the 3-point attempts. He ended up making a couple of them by the end, but there were some plays there where the Nuggets basically, or the Wolves were basically we'll get a closeout on them, but if it's got to be a Jokic 3, we have to live with the results, because taking away everything else from these guys is just too difficult. So, if Cat's got to go to Murray, or if Cat's got to go to MPJ off of a Jokic action, and, there was that. Naz Reid had an amazing block on Jokic at the post. You had, Jokic still ended up scoring. He was getting turnarounds over Cat. He was getting hook shots on whoever. Jokic, the numbers were good, but the Wolves, obviously, they were able to do enough. I think the last thing I saw, he was 11 for 26 from the field. Okay, he ended up 13 for 28. I would also like to say one play that I did notice where Ant, because it just in the flow of, the Nuggets putting 2 to the ball, how do we figure this out? A play where he rejected a Rudy screen as Jokic was high up on the action, and that led to one of Naz Reid's offensive rebounds because, Jokic is up there, he's not in the paint, that whole thing. Okay, I'm done throwing random plays at you. That was unreal. That was one of the best basketball games that I've ever seen, just from a pure, the defending champion, the team that is clearly built to do it to them, and just the intensity of it and the comeback and everything. And You know the real great thing about it, too? It feels like this is not the first time. I mean, this already wasn't the first time they've seen each other. Obviously, they saw each other in round one the other time last year. It feels like we're going to get this series at least one more time in our lifetimes, potentially multiple times. I mean, I don't think either one of these teams is going to be, falling off anytime soon. Just an unreal game. And, I mean, kudos to the Wolves. They're going to face the Mavs in the conference finals, and there's probably something that I am forgetting, but just in the heat of everything we just witnessed, that's why we do this, man. That's why we talk about, how's this team looking in the middle of January, because we know the moment like this is happening. I mean, hell, we had back-to-back jump balls where guys are all on the floor just wrestling for it, and just so much. Pacers did beat the Knicks in Game 7 at the Garden, and, look, aggressive Halliburton was huge. Also, Halliburton being on Josh Hart a little bit, which allowed him to, do the screen navigation, or not screen navigation, the hedge and recover stuff when Brunson tried to get the screen. It just felt like doing that with Hart setting him versus when Deuce was doing him, like Halliburton was doing a better job with that. And my favorite Halliburton 3 of the many big shots he had in this game was one time where TJ had it and Halliburton runs from one side of the floor to the other and he says, give me the ball, like on a DHO action. He immediately goes up with it. Like, that's the energy that you just really want from Halliburton. And, Siakam was cooking and the Knicks team was very fun. I mean, like, the main thing here is Wolves Nuggets, but let's not forget about Knicks Pacers. I know the Pacers blew them out the whole thing. Was wrong about that one. Hell of a season for the Knicks. The perseverance through the injuries was great. It was clear after only a few minutes in this one that OG was just not going to be able to give him big minutes. For the Nuggets, I mean, I don't know. You lost to the one team that was built to beat you. I mean, we know they're not going to make drastic changes to their team. I think you run it back and you say, this is who we are, and, you don't win it every single season. If you want to say improvements to the bench, whatever, okay, fine. But yeah, that was insane. Absolutely insane.